Hello and welcome to today's session. I am super excited about what we are doing today. It is the new year 2025, and I want us to take some time to celebrate this new container, this new energy and portal. And we will be starting with a vinyasa class, and that is going to feel very expansive to you, hopefully, and very good. Then after that, we will take some time for a visualization where we will sit a little bit and meditate, and I will guide you to connect with your best, highest self. And next on the menu, we will be writing down a few of the things that you would like to call out and wish for, really from the bottom of your heart, your actual true desires that are really, really important to you. And these are going to be 3 to 5, no more, and I'll explain when we get there how to do that. So grab yourself your beautiful yoga mat and best, most beautiful clothes that you own, that you want to be wearing for today's expansive class. As always, you might want to grab yourself some water or a hot drink. And you're also going to need a pen and paper. If you have a journal, that's even better, for the affirmations and wishes that we're going to be writing later on. You are very welcome, by the way, to practice this class anytime throughout 2025. The new year is not only on the first days of the new year arriving. We can always fortify and strengthen the energy of the new year throughout the year. So feel free to replay this class and practice it as much and as often as you feel called this year. Alright, let's get started with our beautiful yoga class today. Come and sit on your heels in the middle of the mat. And take your hands into prayer at chest level. And just start to breathe in and out. Connecting with your life force. And now lower your ear towards your shoulder. And do the same on the other side with the opposite ear. And do this again, now using your hands for extra weight and support for a deeper stretch. Really softening here. And same on the other side. Beautiful. Now come back to center and start to take your shoulders into circular movements. Shoulders up and back and forward, nice big rounds. Really opening your chest. And opening your wings as a bird would be doing, or a butterfly. And then be sure to change the direction. Taking the shoulders up and front and then back. All right. Now place one hand on the floor and take the opposite arm up to sky side bend. Breathe in here. And take the bend on the other side. Beautiful. All right, let's get started with the rest of our sequence. Let's take 10 cat-cows. So inhaling as you look up and exhaling as you round the back. That is one round. Round number 2, look up. And exhale, drop the head. 3, look up and inhale. Drop the head round the back and exhale. 4, inhale, exhale. 5, inhale and exhale. Continue with 5 more of these cat-cows, synchronizing your breath with your movements. And really feeling your body here. Very nice. Now, if you've done your rounds, stay in your tabletop and just start to let your neck and head be loose. You might want to take yeses and nos with your head. Just dropping all the stiffness and seriousness. Just let it go. Now take your right hand and arm under left armpit. Thread the needle. Right side of face resting on the mat. And lift yourself back up to center and thread this time the left arm under right armpit, and left side of face rests on the mat. Beautiful, release that. And now raise your left leg up to sky with the knee bent. And grab hold of your foot if you can with your right hand, squeezing the glute, looking up. And gently release, coming back to your tabletop. And now raising up to sky, your right leg knee bent, flexing the foot towards you and grabbing that foot with your left hand. Arching the back, opening your chest. And release. And now we'll be continuing with our next pose and stretches and moves. So come and sit on your heels and simply take your arms up to sky. Interlace your fingers. Feel yourself extend. Now take your arms all the way down and back behind you and interlace the fingers. Open your chest, your head can tilt backwards. And gently come back to center. Find your tabletop again and lift your hips and knees slightly off the floor, lifting the hips again, and finally find a down dog. In your down dog, be sure to walk your dog, taking your time to just bend one knee then the other. Breathing in nicely. Now take yourself all the way towards the front of the mat very slowly and find a chair pose. Sinking those hips low, arms up to sky. Now hands into prayer and tilt over to the left side of the room for a juicy twist, and now open the hands, the arms as well. Back to center and tilt yourself with the arms in prayer over to the right side of the room, and open the arms here as well, breathing. And back to center. Take your fingertips down to the mat and gently start to bend one knee, then the other, lifting those heels up. coming up on the toes. One leg then the other, just finding a lot of space here. Now step into a plank. Hold the plank for a second. And then simply roll your toes and find a upward facing dog. Breathe in here. And slide into down dog. In your down dog, bend your knees towards the floor and then straighten your legs again. Let's do that once more. Knees down and up again. Beautiful. Now take your right foot to the front of the mat into lizard and rock yourself a little bit back and forth here, finding lots of space in the hips, in the legs, and the whole body really. Now very carefully walk yourself into pyramid pose. So no sudden movements, just stay in your body. Find your pyramid. Both feet facing front. Now come into low lunge. Back knees on the floor, and we're lifting those arms all the way up to sky. Option to interlace the fingers or take them into pistol. Opening the chest. Beautiful. Now find your plank position again, and with control lower yourself down towards the floor, tucking the elbows slightly in, using your core. And lift into half cobra. Now take your arms all the way behind you, look down on the mat and lift the knees off the floor for locust. Breathing in here. Super nice. Push yourself up into down dog. And you can bend one knee, then the other. Beautiful. Now take your left foot to the front of the mat when you're ready for the same sequence on this side. Lizard. Rocking yourself back and forth, finding lots of space. Here in the hips, you might find it different to the other side. Just allowing yourself to open up here. Lots of space for the new year. And carefully slide yourself into pyramid pose. Walking that back leg closer to you. And finally come into low lunge, hips forward, opening the chest, arms up to sky. And slowly release the hands back down. Now find a tabletop, take your knees out wide and soften here into child's pose. Let's take a moment. Letting the upper body be heavy, arms are extended on the mat. You're feeling the floor underneath your palms. Your forehead is on the mat. Breathing into those hips. Now slowly just lift yourself up a little bit, only the chest and the hands come up on the fingertips. And then lower back again, this time only extending the right arm. Right side of forehead can be on the mat. And come up slightly and do the same on the other side with the left arm extending, left side of face on the mat. Beautiful. And come back up out of your child's pose and simply find a seated position on the mat with the legs extended in front of you. Take a nice big inhale and fold over. Your hands can land on your toes or ankles or really just anywhere on the floor in front of you. Take your own forward fold and be sure to breathe here. Breathing into your delicious body. Breathing into the back of the legs. Feeling those tingles and sensations. Alright, beautiful. Now let's start to rock forth and back. So take your hands under your knees and just give yourself a nice rock up and back on your spine here, on your back. And then whenever you are ready, come up into a shoulder stand. Legs extended up in the air, and you're supporting your lower back with your hands. Elbows are down on the floor, and we're not moving the head, just keeping your head straight. And now staying in your shoulder stand, very carefully lowering your knees at ear level. And breathing in here. And now carefully roll back onto your mat and find a happy baby, grabbing the outside of your feet or the big toes and just letting yourself soften here. Taking in all the goodness from your yoga practice. Opening your heart. Maybe you want to smile a little. Very nice. Now let's roll back onto a seated position on the mat, and I'm gonna ask you to simply just close your eyes now. Closing the eyes and preparing for a short meditation, 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm going to be guiding you through a wellness practice, softening your whole face, all the muscles in your face. As you sit upright, spine is nice and elongated towards the sky. And I want you to connect with all the love in your body right now. And I want you to picture in your mind what your best self would look like if you were to connect with your best self, maybe 3 years from now, 5 years from now. What would that person be doing? What's your energy like? How do you speak? How do you move? How are you dressed? And what kinds of foods does your best self eat? And there are no limits. Don't think with your brain, just think with your heart. What is it really that you see, the truth of your heart, when you connect to the best version of yourself? What type of environment are you in? And what are you doing? What are your daily activities? What people are you surrounded by? Now just holding that version of yourself within yourself. You are already this version. There is a version of yourself out there that exists. So just loving yourself as you are today, but also loving this version of yourself. And inviting you to find the clarity and the wisdom to unite both of these in your daily life this year in 2025. Now start to move your fingers and gently opening the eyes, maybe taking a few neck rolls and just connecting with your breath before our next practice here. So you can pause the video at any moment if you want to grab yourself a quick drink or take a pause. You're going to need for the rest of the session your journal and a pen, or just a paper and a pen. And we'll be starting when you're ready. So, grabbing your pen and paper, I would like you to connect with your heart, connect with the practice that you've just done for yourself. And I want you to pick 3 to 5 wishes that you deeply desire to realize this year in 2025. I want you to write down 3 to 5 desires that you have, and they have to be honest. These are not just some New Year's random resolutions. These should be things that you know you've been putting off for maybe quite a few years now. These are things that are really deeply important to you as a being, and I want you to write these in an affirmation type of way. So you could say, for example, I have a vital and sexy body. I feel so good in my body. I'm in the best shape of my life, for example. You could also say something that is more specific with numbers. You could say, for example, I have opened my own business and I make 100,000 euros a year. I am thriving with my business and I do the work that I love. So take all the time you need for this. You can pause the video, put a little music on if you want, or just sit in silence. And when you're ready, press play again and continue the rest of the session with me today. So for this part of the class, I want you to look at what you've just written and say it out. Read those out in your best way. Connect with the visualization that we just did earlier. So how would your best self, the highest, best version of you, be reading this? Give it a little joy, be confident, and read these out loud for yourself. And keep this paper, by the way, keep this journal, this paper somewhere so you can continue to look at it and read it throughout the year. So pause the video as you need and have fun just reading through these affirmations to yourself. And now finally, when you're ready, let's continue with the last part of our session today. So you can put your pen and paper down and simply now connect to your body in a seated position. I want you to take your hands over your heart And then just connect with your joy and take your arms up to sky and do a little dance. Do a little dance of joy to celebrate what you've just put out to the universe, and really visualize the joy of you having already achieved those things and the happiness it brings into your life. Let's go. Just give it a little wiggle with me. And when you are done with your little dance of joy, simply blow out from your hands into the universe to close the practice and give thanks for the wishes that you've just put out. May they realize. And I'll say to you, may you be blessed this year. I hope that you enjoyed today's session, and I will see you next time. Take care. You're awesome. You can do anything you want.